Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Painting with Harold, and tonight, as you can see, we have a black canvas turned on landscape. And to bring you up to par as to what I've done, I covered it in a thin, even coat of liquid clear. I took a little bit of alizarin crimson and I made me a spot right in here and a spot right here. You may be able to see a blemish of it on the camera, I'm not sure. Then I took some alizarin crimson and I took some phthalo green, equal parts, and mixed them together, and I made me a black, and that's the color I ended up with. And these are the colors we'll be using tonight. I got 2 piles of titanium white, phthalo green, alizarin crimson, no, it ain't burnt sienna, he don't have it anymore. It's dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, and bright red, the evil bright red. Alright, now after I put that alizarin crimson on, I took that black and covered the rest of the canvas with it, the entire canvas. And with that being said, I guess all that's to do now is jump right in and make a mess. Alright, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to pick up my 1-inch brush and I'm going to bring it right into a little bit of the cad yellow, and I'm going to put a little paint on both sides, and it don't take a lot of paint, just a little on both sides. And I'm going to come right up here in this alizarin crimson where we want our light to be that's coming from the lighthouse, and I'm just going to start in the middle, and I'm going to work out making those little X strokes. And the further we come out, the darker this is going to get. And I can see already we're going to have to come back into some more yellow, because that yellow did not show right there. Alright, then we got to wash the brush. Oh, we got some big red spot in the sky, a big orange spot. That ain't gonna work. We gotta have some yellow up here. Alright, make sure you brush clean and dry, because you don't want to bring no thinner back up here in this liquid clear. You'll have a mess on your hands if you do. Alright, let's pick up a little more yellow and try this again. Alright, there we go. Now we get some yellow on here. We'll probably still have to come back in there and do it again though. And just little X strokes. And let it get darker as it goes out, because you're gonna lose that light once you get further and further away from it. Yeah, we definitely have to bring some more yellow in there, but we can do that. I may have put too much crimson on in that spot. Apparently I did. Alright, clean and dry the brush again. Come back up here into the yellow again. Pick us up a little more. And we'll come right up here. There we go. Now we're starting to get some yellow light in here. And you know, anytime you're doing one of these kind of paintings, if you want a real bright spot somewhere in the painting, you can always come back to the center as long as you clean your brush. You always got to make sure that brush is clean and dry. because if not, you're going to bring that dark color right back in and mess up the bright spot you just made. So I am going to do this one more time. That's a lot of brush washing, ain't it? But we'll get it done. I tell you, we really got to muscle through this painting because this is, it is a fun painting to do. I'm not going to say it's not, but it is definitely not one of my favorites. I will say that. Alright, now we got us a pretty bright spot up here. I'd still like for it to be a little bit bigger. So I think what I'll do is one more time, I'll make the yellow spot bigger this time. I want that bright spot to be a little more. Yeah, there we go. Now, that's a little bigger. There we go. Because we got so much in here we got to do that we got to build on. Alright, I'm going to wash this brush again and get it clean. Now, Bob used a 2-inch brush when he blended this out, but I'm going to use my soft blender, my bunny brush, and I'm just going to come right across this center real lightly first, just real light, and just blend this color real lightly. Just trying to get out those few brush strokes that's in it, because I don't want 1,000 brush strokes in here. And if you've ever done a black canvas painting, you know from experience that no matter how you paint it, if you I got a little hair right there. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that. No matter how you paint it, if you put it under a different light, every time you put it under a different light, you're gonna have a different looking painting. It's weird how these black canvases do that, but they do. Across here and fix this, just like so. Alright, that's a pretty good glow. Then I'm going to come up here and just real softly blend this outer edge. I'm going to blend it out into the darkness, just like so. Alright, then I'll clean this brush again right quick, or for the first time. I think I drew a sun that looked like that back in the 2nd or 3rd grade. Alright, let's make sure this brush is clean and dry. You want it dry. Don't carry a wet brush back up there with that thinner on it, because that will cause you some problems that you don't want. Alright, now, very, very lightly, I'm going to come across here, and I'm just going to blend these colors out, get some of that starburst effect off of it. We don't need that on there. Just lightly, real lightly blend that out. where we just left with that little glow in the sky. That's all we want. Not like so. Alright, I think we can live with that. I'll go and wash both of these brushes again. Now, one of the things Bob did in his version was when he came over here to the side to make those, you can watch it, he came over here and he made some some strokes. I'll show you deck strokes, and then he put a little moon in it, and then he made some clouds around that moon. Now, I'm not trying to make any Bob Ross fans mad, because I am a huge Bob Ross fan, but those clouds he put around that moon and that painting, I didn't care for. And I'm not saying that it was wrong. I would never say Bob done something wrong, but I did not care for them. And I'm not going to do them in mine. I'm going to do different. And you know, Bob told us to do that. You know, he said, make a painting your own. So that's what I plan to do. All right, now I'm gonna go right up here, and I'm gonna get just a little bit of my titanium white, and I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna make those little X strokes up here, just like he did, and just kind of dance them around, and just kind of let them fade on off over here into the night sky. And see, he didn't do that. He stopped his and left them real dark. But I'm just gonna do this just to make it kind of look like a complete painting. I'm just gonna bring them up to the, and you can see how I left one spot right there a little brighter than the rest. So that was for a reason. Now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to go right into my titanium white, and I'm going to come right here in my bright spot, and I want to make me a little moon, just a round circle. Just put me in a moon, just like so. Now for this, I will pick up a 2-inch brush, and I'm going to bring that 2-inch brush up here, and I'm just going to very, very lightly blend these colors out that we just made up here. Just very lightly go across that moon. You don't want to destroy it. Just kind of sit it down into the painting. And if you go across it a couple times, it'll kind of fade out a little, and that won't be a bad thing. But then come back in here and just kind of let it fade out in places as it gets further and further away, about like so. All right, that's a little too bright right in there. I'm gonna do something with that. Take a good look at this. You know, if you have to get up and walk away from it a couple times, then by all means do that. You know, don't be afraid to. I mean, that's part of it. All right, now Bob took a fan brush and he came up here and he made some little squiggly clouds around his moon, and they didn't look terrible in that painting. I'm not saying that, but I'm going to do a little bit different cloud in this painting. And you don't have to if you don't want to. You do not have to do your clouds the same way I'm fixing to do these. This is all preference. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1-inch brush and I'll show you how I'm going to load it up. Okay. I'm going to come right up here to my paint and I'm going to tap on just some white, just tapping it straight in it on that corner. I want to load that corner up just like that with straight titanium white, just like that. That's all I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to come over here just making those little circles. I'm going to come right over here and right under that moon, just like so. I'll come back, I'll pick up just a little bit more, and then we'll come up here, and I'm going to go ahead and run it on off the canvas over here, just like so. Alright, then I'm going to hang on to that brush a second. Then I'm going to pick up a 2-inch brush, and just like always, just like if you were doing clouds in the sky, you know, for the daytime, come up here and just lightly blend out the bottom, being careful not to touch the top. And if you get as high as middle ways, that's okay, but just don't touch the tops. Alright, you can see right there where it started touching that crimson that I put in there earlier, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Alright, now I'm going to knock that little bit of color out, and we'll come up here and I'm just going to lightly fluff them up, just real lightly. And I'm going to just, like a baby's touch, come up here and just lightly blend across and just barely touching them. Let them set themselves right down into the painting. Just real light, just like so. Alright, and we'll hang on to that brush a second. Now, I'm going to take my 1-inch brush, and I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to load it the same way. Same exact way. Get some paint on that corner. Alright, see where we kind of faded it out at? We're going to come right back up under that where we faded it with some more little circles. We want to come right in here, right under that one, and then we just want to bring this one over a little bit further, just a little bit, about like so. I'll get just a little bit more of this white, and I'll come right in here, and I'll dance up these tops just a little, not much. Because if you're not careful, you'll make snowballs or cotton balls up here, and that's not what we want to do. We definitely don't want to do that. Because if you do that, then you're going to have that to look at every time you look at this painting. And you're going to know you did that. And it's just going to eat at you every time. I've done it, and every time you look at it, you're just like, man, I can't believe I did that. Alright, we'll leave that alone for a second. And again, we're going to pick up a clean, dry, same brush we just had. And all I did was I took a paper towel and just knocked some of that color off. That's all I did. Come back up here along the bottom and just blend this out just like you did that last time, just like so. Now don't ask me in this painting where that crimson color's coming from, because I can't tell you. I don't know if it was just to make the paint look good, or what the deal was here, but you know, it was in this painting, and I'm not gonna change the colors. I will leave it in there. Now I know this is a real bright moon, but hey, it's our world. We can do what we want to do in our world. I kind of like it. Alright, we just fluff it out and blend it in, and we'll let it ride just like that. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth of the matter. I'm not 100% happy right there yet. So, I'm going to take this 1-inch brush one more time, and I'm going to wash it one more time, and I'm going to do that to that yellow color one more time. And I hope that this is the last time I have to do it, because I'm building up quite a bit of paint in this area right now, and I'm just not 100% happy with as much paint as I'm having to put on here. Alright, now I'm going to leave it alone like that. I'm going to take my 2-inch brush, and I'll just lightly come across here and blend some of that out. And that ain't so bad. I think what I did, and you don't have to do this if you're watching this video, I don't think you had to put as much crimson in here as I did. I think I put a little too much crimson. But anyway, we got it in there, and that's all that matters. Then we got our clouds done. Now, Bob did put a couple little stringy ones down here. And if you want those, you know, by all means go ahead. But one thing that I am going to do that to me looks good in this painting, and there again, this is all preference. I'm going to take my fan brush, and I'm going to come up here and put just a little white paint on it. Very little. And I'm going to come across here. I'm going to start out about right there in that in that light spot, and I'm just going to curl out a little stringy little deal like that. And then I'm going to come on this side, and I'm going to do another little one, kind of let him go on off. And then I'll come in here about right in there somewhere and just string off another one like that. Now you seen how I did that. Just spun the brush. That's all I did up there. That is it. Then I'm going to come up here, and I'm just going to lightly hypnotize these. Just real lightly. Just real light. And then soft blend them. About like so. And that's all I'm going to do. Now, I like those clouds a little better. And like I said, that is pure preference. That is all that is. If you would rather do your clouds like Bob done his, then by all means, that's what you ought to do. But I just seem to like this sky a little better, and that's my preference. I'm not saying Bob did wrong, so don't send me no nasty emails saying that I said Bob done something wrong. All right. We got us a nice little sky in there. I think it's kind of pretty. So I think all we need to do now is start working on the water. Okay, I know I said we was going to start in the water, but I think I'm going to try something before we do. I am going to, this may be a mistake, and if it is, I'll apologize. I'm going to come right up here under this cloud, and I am going to attempt to put another little cloud right under it. And there's a reason for this. About like so. I'm going to get a little more white, because I want this to be a little more white out here on a couple of these edges. About like so. Alright. I hope this wasn't a mistake. And then we'll come in here and I'm going to blend out the bottom of this one. Linda, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I'm not going to call you last name, but you said you was having problems with night clouds, and you can see that we do night clouds the same way we do daytime clouds. We're just doing them on a black canvas, and it's at night. And that is the only difference. Alright, I'm going to kind of fade the bottom away on this one. About like so. I'll come in here, fluff it up again. Then I'll lightly, very lightly, brush across and set it down into the painting. Alright, I'm going to tell you, I like that better. I really do. I don't think it was a mistake. I really don't. Alright, now we'll start in the water. Alright, now this part right here is, it's kind of, oh, what's the word? I don't want to say tricky. I'm not trying to scare you. Alright, I'm going to come over into my clean pile of white and we'll pull it out right here. Let me see if I can get this raised up. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab just a very little of the cad yellow. And I'm going to bring it in and stain it with this cad yellow. And when you get this color mixed up, think of an eggshell, is what I was told. You don't want it white and you don't want it yellow. You want it kind of an off-white. Okay? If that makes sense at all to you. Now, one of the pieces of advice Bob did give on these paintings, anytime he was doing a black canvas, is he'd always say, make it a little brighter while you're doing it, because these colors are going to dry, and when they dry they'll dull some. So keep that in mind. Alright, pull that color out as flat as you can get it, and get you a little roll of paint. You can see my little roll of paint right there on my knife. I think you can, let's get it closer to the camera. You see it right there. Alright. Whew. This is the part I dread every time I do this painting. If you need to, what you can do is you can come over here and measure up with something and put you some marks and make you a straight line across here. You can do that with like a yardstick or a T-square or something like that. Or if you think you can do it by hand, you want to come across here with a line right under these clouds. And I'm going to start over here in the middle. And what you want to do is, you want to just touch this color on and keep it as level across here as you possibly can, because it's real important that you keep this level, because if not, it's going to make your ocean look like it's trying to run off the canvas. And there's nothing worse than an ocean that runs off the canvas. Alright, and then we're going to bring it all the way across. Tapping just like that. And just try everything you can, if you're doing it free-handed, to, like I said, keep it as level across here as you can. That is real important. All the way across. Just like so. Then you can get back from it a little and look and see if it's level enough. And if you're pleased with it, continue on. But what you want to do is you just want to start lightly, just lightly tapping up here under your line, and just bring that color down, and make sure, whatever you do, make sure you leave some dark. Don't make this a solid yellow and white. Make sure you leave some dark in here. I can't tell you how important that is, that you leave some dark. Now if you've got enough paint up here on your line to come down a little bit, you don't have to pick up anymore. But if you don't, pick you up a little bit more. But just come across here and make sure you got a little roll of paint. Because if you get too big a roll, you're going to come up here and you're going to glob on a big glob of it, and it's just not going to do what you need it to do. And that's all I'm doing, is just tapping. Just like that. And like I said, one of the most important things I can tell you about what we're doing right now is leaving them dark spots in here. Because what these are representing is waves that are way off in the distance. And if you don't have some space in between them, it's just going to look like solid water, and it ain't going to look right. Can you see that? Can you see how it's developing into distant waves back in here? Over here is not as important because we're going to bring the lighthouse down. And the lighthouse is going to come down, and we're going to have a little land running out here and back this way. So our main focal point is going to be right in here. But if we don't do it all now, we don't know exactly where to stop it, and it could look out of whack, and everything could look off balance. So I come over here anyway, and I do this side, That way, if I cover up a lot of it and some of it's still seen, I don't have to try to come over here with something smaller, like a smaller knife or smaller brush, and try to fill it back in. It's already here. So that's the only reason I do this side. And all I do is I bring it down far enough to know that that's all of it that's gonna get seen. Because off that lighthouse, we're gonna have a big roof of a house coming over here too. Remember, Bob put a little house in here that the lighthouse keeper was staying in, and he come off that way. So you won't see a lot over here, but you may catch the tail end of that ocean sticking out past some of it. And I may cheat. I may go back and look at the video just to make sure he didn't bring his mand out above the water line. Because if he did, then I'm already messing up. Alright, we'll come over here now. We'll work on this side a little bit. Best I can remember, he didn't. But now, I said I was going to go back and watch that video, and I forgot all about it. But I remember saying we was going to do this painting. And I've talked to a couple people about it, and they've kind of expected me to do it. And it is a fun painting to do. I'm not saying it's not. But it's you stepping out of the beginner world when you start doing this one. All right, I'm gonna say it's about far enough down with those little distant looking waves. So what I'll do now is I'll pick up a clean, dry 2-inch brush, and I'll come right here at the beginning of my water line and just real lightly brush across. Just want to distort these colors. That's all we're trying to do. Just real lightly. That's it. That's all we want to do. Just like that. Just like that. And then look at it again, and kind of give yourself an idea if it's light enough for you. I mean, level enough for you, because you want it to be level. All right, I'm gonna knock the rest of that paint out. All right, let's let me see if I can look this up right quick and see if we can figure out what Bob did here. All right, I'm gonna go to the YouTube app on my phone. I'm cheating. All right. I guess I could have stopped the recording while I was doing this. But hey, y'all might want to see Bob.
Welcome back. You ready to do a fantastic painting with me? Well, last week I promised us that we would
There
do the
he
painting
is.
that you see animated at the beginning of each show.
Let's
I'm taking the liberty of going ahead and covering
let's
the
fast
canvas
forward.
with paint. We're using a black
Okay, that's where he's at now.
to pull off what it wants. Let the canvas do the work. There we go.
He'd come down a little further than I did.
Now, we take the large brush and very gently, we're just going to blend all this together. Just very gently.
We got that much done.
And if you
See, he
want
left some out over here too.
continue to blend, you can finally blend it till it's very, very dark. We don't want to lose all this nice color that we put in there, so I'm going to stop about here.
Alright, it's gonna be a minute before he
Okay.
does the land.
Now,
Uh-oh. I can turn Bob's volume all the way off.
and we can begin working on some very basic little wave structures here.
Oh, he's gonna do the waves right
And
quick.
let's go back in here and just barely touch the canvas. Just barely touch. On one of the shows earlier,
Okay.
this seascape that was
We'll
all
get past that.
That's a good exercise.
Alright, here's where he's building the lighthouse.
And
He's gonna
you touch it and just
come down.
maybe there's a little light striking this. So let's take a tiny little bit of yellow ochre and mix it right in there just to lighten the color.
Is he still working on the lighthouse?
Mixed it right in with the same color.
Yeah.
Just barely touching.
I'm
Just
gonna go
that's
forward a little bit.
basically how we make a little lighthouse. Now we need some land for it.
Alright, here we go. He's just working on the land.
Water, make a big splash.
Alright, he bought the lighthouse down below the water line, and the land is too. That's what I thought. Okay. So now we ain't total messed up here.
This little peninsula that goes out the
We just
lighthouse
gotta-
is sitting on.
We just gotta get back up here now and
And just lay it in some Van Dyke.
play through it. And hopefully we don't mess up everything. Because I have been known to mess up. Alright. So now we need the fan brush. And it's laying over here full of paint. So I'm going to clean it up and dry it off real good. Alright, we'll come into the same color that we was using. The white and the yellow. And I'll come up here and I'll start about right here. I'm just going to tap a little color across. About like so. And we know we gotta pull that color forward just a little bit. Like so. Just pulling it down. May have to come back up here on the top and give it a little more wave structure. About like so. And just very gently come in here and pull it out, about like so. That's all we gotta do. Just come in here, just kind of let the water dance around a little, up through here, about like so. We know we want to leave a little space in here. And come back up here and make us another one now. About like so. Give it a couple little splash marks across here. And then over here we'll just scratch in a little color, little water, in case it is seen. We'll be ready for it. Alright, we'll come across here, give it a little push up again, and we'll come right in here and pull this color out, just real gentle. Just like so. Just pulling it at a little angle across here, just to give it a little wave look. That's all we're trying to do. In fact, I'll take a little more white and I'll come up here and try to fix this one some. Pull it down a little more right through here. Give ourselves a little bit of darkness in there. And we'll come back across and kind of give it a little water look, like it's another wave coming in here. We'll kind of pull it down. Like so. And we'll let that water play and dance around and carry it on off over here. Just kind of fill it in. Just dance it around. Let it get smaller and smaller out here. Like so. Because the funny thing about water is you never really know what it's really going to do. It pretty much does what it wants to do. Alright, then we'll come in here and pull it up. Come in here and pull this one up a little bit. Just about like so. Let it fade on out. Come in here and grab this color. Pull it down with your 2-inch brush if you need to. Just here and there. And then I'm going to say it's about time for us to build a lighthouse. And alright, I got to step up for a second and turn this camera off just a minute because I got to run upstairs. I'm going to go see if there's any coffee made. And if not, I may make some. But the thing about it is, you won't miss me. Because you won't even know I'm gone. Okay, I did not realize how late it was. It is too late for coffee. So I guess we'll start building the lighthouse. Alright, I'm going to pick up my knife. And I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to get just a little roll of Van Dyke Brown on my knife. And we're going to come right in here. Try to get over here where y'all can see what I'm doing. And try to keep this as level as possible. I'm going to come right here. And just pull across a little bit of brown, like so. Get a little more paint up here, because it's going to have to be solid brown. Alright. I'm going to pull this just across a little bit, about like so. Then we'll get a little bit of paint on the other side of the knife. And we'll come right here. And we'll bring it this way. About like so. Now, one of the things that helps right here is if you'll come right dead in the center of this and put your little mark. Just come up with your little mark right there. And that'll give you guidance, because you're going to take the little edge of your knife now and get a little roll of paint.
And we're going to come right up here. And we're going to come down at an angle across here. Right at that point.
We're going to do that on both sides.
Right at that point. Whoa. I want to keep it the same angle on both sides.
Not like that.
And then bring this one back out. Not like that. Oh, that ain't level. I really probably should have drew this in with a brush.
Alright, we're getting some other little roll.
I'm going to come right up here. I still ain't got my right angle here. So we're going to have to work on this until I get that angle right.
Yeah, that's much better. It still ain't 100% right though.
But what we want to do is we want to come out. I want to pull this color in to our lighthouse. About like so.
We want to put a little top on it.
That's all we're trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. I just ain't doing a good job of it. And make it look even on both sides.
Not like so. And then
Go back into the top and pull this color down where it's solid brown up here.
Alright,
That's almost what we're looking for.
for some reason, I got that side a little more rounded than the other side.
So let's try to fix it. Or either let's try to straighten this side. Not like that. Then we can bring it down.
Yeah, that don't look as bad. Now let's fill it back in with brown.
So we can come right back up here and pull it out. Because that's our next step, is pulling this color back out. And that's going to be fun.
Alright. That was fun, huh? Alright. Now,
I'm going to come right up here with the little edge again. And we'll pull straight down and remove as much of this paint as we can in here.
about like so. I want to pick up just straight cad yellow.
Again, on that little end. I'm going to come up here and just make it look like it's glowing.
About like that. Then we want to pick up our Van Dyke brown again.
Let's see. This is where. Alright, let's box it back off, because I didn't get it all out of whack here. First thing we gotta do is get it back level.
Like that. We'll put just a little bit more yellow up here. Just a little bit. Right here. Like so. Make it look like it's really glowing tonight.
Well, this is some hold your breath, no handshaking kind of stuff here. That's a tight little area.
to try to work in that tight with a knife. I think I made that a little big. I'm almost 100% certain of it. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some Van Dyke Brown.
And I'm gonna come back up here and I'm gonna cut part of this light off, because that's too big. It don't need to be that big. In fact, where I just cut it off at, I'm gonna come out, and I wanna come out and let's see. I'm gonna come out and down. Kind of like making a little circle out here, or a semicircle, about like so. On both sides.
Not like that. I probably should have done that at the bottom. But it ain't too late. We can still do it.
Alright, we'll come across the bottom here, and we'll do us another one. About the same way. Just make it come out. About like so.
Alright. Now, just want to pick up the liner brush, and we're going to get just a very little bit of thinner on here. Not much. Because remember, we got liquid clear up there. And we want to get a little bit of this dark brown paint on here.
I want to come in here and put some rails in. I want these rails to join up with the top side, about like so.
About like that. And that's supposed to represent our little walk around up there. Alright, we'll pick this up just a little bit more brown.
I want to come up here at our light and just very easy come in here and give ourselves a couple of window panes.
About like so. Alright, then I'm going to get just a little bit more of this brown.
And I'm going to bring me just a straight line across here. Just like so. And I'm going to fill this bottom in a little bit to make it look like it's Actually got enough space under it to be a walk around back there, because I don't want it to look like it's not. So about like that.
Alright. Now if that light's on in there and it's that bright, it might cast just a little bit of yellow on some of these rails. But keep it very, very dim. Don't come up here and set these on fire. We just want a little highlight on them. We don't want to set them on fire. Just enough that you might can see a little light up there. If any at all. I mean, if you don't even want to do that, that's fine too. But I feel like there may be a little glow up here. I don't think it'll be much of one. Because keep in mind, this is a night scene. But that'll help. That'll help some with the overall effect of this. From a distance, it'll show up. So that's the main thing. All right, now you can do that lighthouse right now with the knife, or if you feel more confident drawing it in with a brush, then I recommend doing that. Because let me tell you, if you start coming down with that lighthouse and you come out at an angle with this side and you come over here and you put too much of an angle on this side, it's not going to look in perspective. It's going to look all out of whack. And the thing that I found is a lot of people, when they do this painting, they'll come straight down on both sides and then it looks too skinny. You want the lighthouse to have a good foundation down at the bottom, but at the same token, it's got to look rounded once we go back to doing the highlights. And the only way, other than using a brush, that I could recommend something you do, and it'd be kind of hard at this stage, is if you had some kind of way of making a straight angle. You know, some kind of device that would help you make an angle. Now, one of the things I found that works for me before I start doing it with my knife is to take my knife blade and I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to come down and I want to draw it in first, about like so. And that's about as tall as I want my lighthouse to be. Well, maybe just a little bit taller, not much. A little bit, maybe about like that. And then I can come on this side and I can kind of start doing the same thing. And I can look over there and see about where I stopped at, which is about right there. Now by drawing that outline in first, you got an idea now of what it's going to look like. And to me, that don't look too far off. This side needs to come down a little more. I can tell that already. But about like that. Now I know that when I come in here now with my with my Van Dyke Brown on my knife, I've got some I've got some lines that I can use as a reference.
Like I can come right here and come across. And you don't have to get it. You don't have to get it all in there right now. Just work on your outside line first. Because we can come back up here.
Once we get that line done, we can come back up here and close it all in.
But getting that outside line and getting your perspective on the lighthouse, getting it done first is real important.
Because you don't want a crooked lighthouse. Because believe me, this is kind of the focal point in this paint. And if it's crooked, you will notice it. But at the same token, you have to kind of step back from it and make sure that your top up here and all of this is all in perspective. Make sure it's, everything's kind of level like it's supposed to be. Because if this is leaning to one side, it's going to throw it off. If your water line ain't straight, it's going to throw it off. So a lot of that kind of stuff matters in this painting. And that's kind of, in my opinion, why this painting
Don't really get a beginner type rating. Because there's several little tricks in this painting you got to do to keep everything looking the way it's supposed to look.
And like I said, if you are not comfortable using this knife
And you'd rather do it with a brush, the police are not going to show up and arrest you for that. In fact, I won't even call them on you. I won't tell them you did that. And the only reason I'm recommending that
is because I've done it both ways, and it is a little easier doing it with a brush.
But, with that being said, you got to get over that fear of using this knife. So, and I know what you're thinking.
If you get up here and mess it up, what you gonna do? Well, you're gonna fix it. That's all.
Because you can't really mess up nothing up here that you can't fix. That is the joy of painting. Especially with oil paint. It is so forgiving. It'll let you make little
Happy accidents.
and then it'll tell you, come back and fix it.
And believe me, you're not gonna build up textures with water paint, and
You're not going to build up textures. I'm going to make this even a little bit taller. You're not going to make this these kind of textures with unless you got a real thick body acrylic. Alright, about like that.
that's our base for our lighthouse right there.
Then we'll come back up here now that we got the foundation built. And I'm going to pull some of this paint up here and just try to kill some of them real bright spots where it mixed with that yellow and white. I mean, we're going to highlight it, but we don't want it.
We don't want it real highlighted right now.
Alright, then we'll come in here and kind of pull this around a little bit.
About like so. not like that. We got us a pretty decent looking little lighthouse. Well, we got us a kind of a big lighthouse. He's got quite a bottom on him. To me, it just looks like it needs to be a little bit taller, because we got the top so tall. I'll tell you what we'll do. I ain't gonna question it. I'll go ahead and make it just a little bit taller. I'm not going no taller than this right here though. This is it. This is the last little bit I'm adding to it. Because if I keep on, I'm gonna be piddled with it until I got him leaning to one side or the other. Then it'll take me hours to fix it. Excuse me. Alright, now I'm going to pick up just a little bit of dark sienna. And I'm going to bring it over here and put it to the side. And I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of yellow ochre. And I'm going to bring these two colors together and just kind of marble mix them on the palette. And I'm going to come up here and I want to just lightly pull this color across, just real light. Just like that. And you can come in here and you just want it to look, just let that paint break if you can. Just let it. You want more of your light over here to this side, and you don't want a lot even at that, because your moon's over here. So you can leave this side in shadow. Alright, then we're going to pick up just a little bit more of the yellow ochre. And we're going to make this color a little bit brighter now. But even at that, we still want it marble mixed, right on the knife. Alright, and we just want to, again, very gently, come up here and just pull it across. And let that paint break. Real gentle. And that'll just make it look old, rocky, and like old stones. And that yellow ochre will get up here and go to mixing with these dark colors, and it'll just, it gives it such a unique look. And I mean, that is such a, and it's an easy look to grab or to get a hold of. It's just so pretty. Just real lightly pull it across and just let that paint pour right off your knife, and you just want to pull it around so lightly and just let it break. And then leave your darkness on this side. Now if you want to, it's entirely up to you. You know, if you want to come back and get just straight yellow ochre, I'll show you what it'll do. But now you're going to have to be sparingly with this. You don't want to do much of this. Just with a very little bit of it, you can come up here and just touch it on in a couple spots like that, and let it break over that dark color like that. And then take you some Van Dyke brown, a little roll of it. It don't take much. And then leave it kind of light out here, but then just very, very, very lightly let that Van Dyke brown come across there and tone that yellow ochre back down in a couple places. And that'll just really add to that overall rock look. But that way you still hadn't killed all your yellow ochre, but you still got enough darkness in it to tell this is a night painting. Now, you want to get you some more Van Dyke brown on your knife. And just imagine if you were coming across here with a straight line. Well, we won't imagine, we'll do it. Alright, we'll come across here with a line of paint, just like so. Say we come to the bottom of it right there. Draw your line through here, but don't touch it. You're going to come out with it on your little edge over here. Say it's keeping that same angle. You're going to come out with it over here somewhere, about like so. See how it did that? And then come in here and pull this down at an angle across here and give yourself a little peninsula out here for this to stand on. Just pull this down, just like that. Pull this all the way down into the water. Just straight Van Dyke brown. About like so. See how we're doing that? Just pulling that Van Dyke brown out. Just like that. Right out into the water. In fact, I think I want mine to come out just a little bit further. I want mine to come out to about right there. Yeah. I want it to have a good foundation under it. Real good. I want it to look like it's standing there being all proud. Proud to be a waterfall. I mean a lighthouse. Okay, just like so. Yep, I'm alright with that. Alright, I'm going to have some more Van Dyke brown. I didn't realize I had used that much. This painting calls for a good bit of Van Dyke brown, huh? With it being at night. Put out just a little bit more. I don't think it'll take a lot more for what we got left to do, but I'll leave out. I'll put out some. Alright. Now, Bob came up here and he took a little roll of Van Dyke brown
And he came right into the lighthouse here. A little bit taller than that. And he put in a roof. He pulled a roof in just like that. See that? Where we pulled that roof in? Just pulled it in just like so. Alright. Then he came back up a little higher. And he pulled in another roof right over that one. Just like so. Then he came out here, which I didn't give myself enough room. I probably should have came further out with my. Alright, and he made an eave over here on this side. And he took that Van Dyke brown in and he pulled this little building down, and he pulled this little building down, and then the front, you get to come in there. And pull this straight down. Just like so. And this is all dark colors. Basically all we're doing is blocking this in. So when we come back up here with a little bit of highlight, we'll know where everything's at. That's basically all we're doing right now. Alright, we gotta fix this roof line. Alright, clean off my knife again. Now, the color that we used in these rocks right here can also be used in our roof. So I'm gonna pick up my little knife now, and I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna get just a little smidgen of it. We got to be careful right here and not let it combine in too much with our roof on our lighthouse. We want to be able to tell this is a roof we're making. So come up here and just pull this color straight down. Just don't let it get too bright. About like that. Should be fine. Make sure you got your perspective right. Just don't want it to get too dark on us. I mean too light. Because this is still a night scene. Alright, we want to do the same on this little roof. We want to come down and put him in front of this other one. Just like so. And we do not want this to get too bright. Whatever you do, don't let it get too bright. If at any point you feel like it's entirely too bright, we'll take some more Van Dyke brown and come up here and fix it. And then if you bring this color in a couple times and work over it a couple times, it'll get darker for you when it gets in that Van Dyke brown. Alright, about like that on that roof side.
And we want a very tiny roll.
I want to come down on our other side over here.
And get just a little bit of that showing, not much at all. Now the color that we made, that black color, we're going to grab just a little bit of it and bring it over here. And a clean spot to work. It don't take much, just a little bit. And we're going to grab us some white. We're going to bring some white into that. And then when you mix this, don't let it get too white. We're going to get a gray, but don't get too light. Because this is what we're fixing to put on the side of our, make our sides with. And if it's too light, it's just gonna glare up here. So come across and get just a little roll of paint.
Come up here on the little first little house and just pull straight down. Just straight down. Let that color kind of, just let it break in here. Just like so.
About like that. Just let it be seen. Alright, now, I see something. I messed up here. I got to fix right quick. I didn't get my roof
All the way finished right here. So I gotta come back up here and fix that.
like so. Then we'll pick up just a little bit more of this gray color.
And believe me, it don't take much of this color. We don't want much of it at all. It just barely grazes the side of this cabin. And just like before on the roof, if it starts getting too bright, just go over it a couple times and
let it work itself out. Alright, I'm going to pick up just a little bit on half the knife
and fix this back half of this one because it's not wanting to. There we go. Now, I like that way better.
That's all we're looking for right there. And then around here on the front, we'll grab a little bit more of this color. Very little.
You want to come in here on this side and pull it straight down. But then work that dark color and keep it good and dark. Don't let it get too light. And work with it just enough that you can see the perspective of it. That you can see how it's separated here. Because we're going to come back up here and
here in just a minute, and we're gonna work on putting some grass in.
We'll get a little bit of color right in here, just a little, and let that color mix in with the dark. Because like I said, around here on the front,
Even if we have to pick up some more Van Dyke brown and come in here,
we want this color to stay dark around here on this side. Because it's definitely in the night. just work across her like so.
And just like that, we got the little man a place to live. I don't think that's too bright right there. I think it'll be all right. All right, now we want to get us a fan brush. Boy, I can't hold a fan brush or nothing tonight. That was my knife. Luckily I'm done with it. Almost. Alright, I'm going to come up here now. I'm going to get some white. And well, no. Let's don't do that yet. Before we do that, let's work on this. Let's go right back into the same color that we highlight and everything with. That's dark sienna and yellow ochre. I want to keep this dark, just like we've been keeping it. Alright. Oh no. Yeah, I did. I just dropped my whole phone in white paint. Alright, that'll be time for me to go to bed, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I'm going to come right here and just barely graze this rock bank over here. Just barely graze it. Just like so. Because we want everything to stay as dark as we can keep it. Because we're going to come back up here in a few minutes and we're going to add a little grass up here. But before we do that, we need to, I want it to look kind of rocky over here. Come out into the water like so. Make it come back. At an angle up here. About like that. Alright. Then I'll clean off my knife again. Now I'll take that fan brush that I just put in the white paint. And let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's make it look like it's splashing against the bank right here. Up through here. In a couple places. About like that. Alright, then let's tap us on. We'll come up about like so. And then just kind of let it fade off back down that way a little bit. And we'll start working this color back just a little bit. But we want to leave some dark in here. Make it look like a swell. And brighten it up some in a couple places. I'll pick up a little of that color. That'll add to the overall effect of it some. Alright, then pull this color back. little splash right here. Alright, and then we'll start pulling some of this color out. Not like so. Alright, let's say it come up right here. And let's say it kind of just collapsed over right in here. About like that. I'll come in here and pull this out. Kind of like this. It ain't got to be no real big surfing wave or nothing, but we'll just make it look like it kind of come around, and we'll pull some of this over this way, like that. And we'll bring this on around and just kind of let it splash in here. Just let it do some crazy stuff. But just keep this pulled over this way. About like that. And then we're going to need a little bit of water that pulled out of there. Like it washed up on the bank. Like so. And kind of let it lay down out there. Alright, let's do this. Let's come right here now and just give ourselves a little line across here and make it look like it washed up on the bank, and then off the canvas over here, just like that. And we'll just bring all this together, not like so. Blend it in, blend it in just like that. We'll leave ourselves some dark in here. Kind of give it a roundness to it, about like that. And then let this side kind of fall out as it. Wish I'd brought that down more of an angle right there. We'll bring this color on out from under here, like so. Alright, let's grab us a 2-inch brush. Well, now let's grab a 1-inch brush. I think it'll do it better. We'll come right up here. And we'll come right into this color. And we'll pull a little of it down across here. Give it a little reflection. Make it look like it's landing on the beach over here. Giving itself some reflection on the, well, I don't know if it'd be sand in here or what it'd be, but whatever it is, it's reflected on it. Alright. And then real light, come across it. Not like so. Make it look like it's reflecting. Not like that. Just pull it across real easy. Okay. Then we'll get this fan brush again.
We'll come back up here and clean this line up now. Put it back on top of that reflection. Like that. Then we'll take our strip liner brush. We'll go into the dark color, our black up here. And I'm gonna come right under this edge here and lay on a little dark color to make it look like it's raised up, like that water sitting on top of the sand in here. And if it goes getting too white on you, just come in here and get you a little more color, about like so. See how it makes it just look like it's sitting right up on top of it? I'll green wash this. Come right back up here and bring this color back now. Back into our wave. Just blend it right back into it. Just like so. I don't really think we need an eye in there. I really don't. I don't think it's that important. Not with it being this dark at night. That moon's pretty bright, but I still don't think we need to put an eye in it. Now you can do little seafoam strokes in yours if you feel like it. That's entirely up to you. I don't think it really needs it. Alright, now I'm going to go right back into my Van Dyke Brown again. Bring me a little roll over here. And I want to come down right over here under my cabin. And I want to bring this color down. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bring it down and more out that way. I'll turn it kind of like it's coming at an angle across here, like that. Not like that. Should I bring it out further than that? Let's see. Well, you can still see the reflection here in the water. Right, so I'll bring it down like this, not like that. Yeah, about like that, at an angle across there. Alright, then we want to go back up here and get back into our dark sienna and our yellow ochre color. And there again, we don't want to get real
real bright. You know, we're working with a night scene. But just like that, we'll come up here and we'll get us a little rope. And we'll come right here where we stopped with our highlight earlier. We'll come back up here and we'll start pulling it down across here. Letting it break, just like putting snow on a mountain. Just let it break as you pull it down. And if it starts getting too bright, you can always, like I said earlier, you can always pick up your little more which I don't think it's going to right now, because we're fixing to do grass, so I think we'll be all right like that. All right, let's get something to stand on up there. I believe in my mind, I may be wrong, but I believe in my mind if I was water and I was hitting right here, I'd probably be splashing a little bit on that. Not like so. I'm pretty sure I'd have some splash marks in there. Probably a little bit on the corner. Not like that. But anyway, we're fixing to put some grass in, so I'll wash this fan brush real quick. And now I got paint all over my arm. Oh man, I got to clean my phone up already. Alright, we're going to go right up here into some cad yellow and yellow ochre, because we want to tone this cad yellow down. And we want some sap green. We want this color to be noticeable, but we want it to be dark, because there again, we're working it at night. So cad yellow, yellow ochre, and sap green. And I'll put just a little bit of thinner on this fan brush, not much, because remember, we're working with liquid clear up here. Alright, now we'll come right up here, and I want to just start right at the lighthouse, and I just want to start popping up a little grass across here. Just a little bit. And start bringing it down the rock some. And it don't have to be, it don't have to be everywhere up here. Just, come around your lighthouse and come around your little house. Little houses that we made. And then kind of come down the rock bank a little bit. And just give yourself a little bit of grass growing down the hill. And this does a couple things for us in this painting. It kind of fills in a void area up here, and it gives us another color to work with. And we just want this grass to look like it's growing right down the bank. That's all we want it to do. We want to keep it growing over here. We want it to come all the way down the bank on this side. Just like that, right out of the painting. And if it goes to not wanting to stick, just grab you just a drop of thinner. Don't get much thinner. That's the one thing we don't want a lot of. We'll come all out here in front of our little house on top of our rocks over here. And we'll come down this way. We'll add a little bit, like so. Can y'all see how I'm doing that? I'm just taking that brush and just very lightly pushing it up, following the contour of the land. That's all I'm doing. Just letting it come down in here and just putting in some grass. That's all I'm doing on these rocks. Just making it look like it's growed up through there. And if you come back over here, you can level off up here and make it look, make it look like it's flat ground up here. All along your cabin area, you can make all this look flat across there, and then make it look like it's coming down in a couple places. And just kind of play with it a little bit and let it fade out into the darker colors, but still let it be seen at the same time, and that way it's noticeable, but you don't have really a highlight up here anywhere that's stealing the show. Just like that. And then this just looks like it come on around the bank here where we pulled it out. Just like that. Now, remember I showed you here a while back the little tool I got called a paint eraser. Alright, let me find it. Alright. It's got the little angle on it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right up here and I'm just going to pull a little of this paint out in a couple places and just make it look like little windows in the little house back here. That's all I'm doing. Just like so. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to erase some paint and give him a door. And then Bob said you can always come back and give him a little chimney. That way he ain't freezing to death. So to give him a little chimney, what I'll do is I'll take a little Van Dyke brown here on a little roll of my knife, and I'll come right up here on his little house, and I'll just make a little spot up there, just to signify a chimney for him, just like so. And take just a tad, I mean just a small drop of bright red, and come up there and just barely touch it, just to make it look like maybe like a brick or two back there. And I mean barely touch this color. Just like that. And you really have to strain to even see that. Whew, I don't know what y'all think about it, but there's my version of Bob Ross's Lighthouse. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun to paint, I'll say that. Now I did make a few changes in mine, and you're not required to make those same changes in yours. If you don't like the changes I made, well, that's totally your choice. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get me a little thinner over here, and I'm going to come right into my red.
And I'm gonna come right over here and I'm gonna put my mark on it.
And I'm gonna call it done, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope y'all give this one a try. It is a real fun painting to do. I hope I helped you any at all with it. Oh, and another thing I didn't do, Bob put a little kick out on his and gave the man a little extra storage. My man don't have a whole lot of stuff. He broke. But just like that, we've finished it. We struggled through it, but we managed to pull it off. Oh, I got some white paint to get off my phone. Golly. I ain't gonna show y'all that. Alright, I love you guys. God loves you more. Y'all have a very blessed night. And see you next time on Painting with Harold. I do not have a clue what I'm doing next. I'll give it some thought and we'll come up with something. If y'all got something y'all want to see, comment, send me a message, let me know. And I'll try to see to it I work on it and see if we can make it happen. Y'all have a very blessed night. Thank y'all for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe. That's the name of the game. See you next time on Painting with Harold.